Okay, so with rest breathing, you have the diaphragm contracting, which allows the lungs to lower and increase in volume due to air, and there's negative pressure. When the pressure inside of the lungs and the pressure outside of the lungs is the same, then expiration can happen. So in that, the diaphragm relaxes and the lungs recoil, which allow for an increase in pressure and therefore allow you to expel that air. The timing of respiration is 40% inspiration, 60% expiration. So that makes sense because you're not really taking in as much air as with speech breathing, and you're not really regulating your expiration as much. With subglottal pressure, that is located underneath the vocal folds and the glottis. That's important because we need it to be loud enough to be intelligible to others. And it relates to the respiratory system because you need the lungs to create that pressure because it doesn't just magically happen on its own. When we start to speak, inspiration begins at twice the level of tidal volume, and you also tap into your inspiratory reserve volume. Basically, we're just taking in a lot more air. And the diaphragm works as normal, but it also has help from the abdomen, which helps to let the diaphragm move quickly and lift the rib cage, and that helps you to regulate how much you're expiring when you're speaking. So with steady state utterances, like really long ahs, for example, the timing for that is 10% inspiration, 90% expiration. So you're taking in a lot more air and you're expiring or regulating your expiration a lot more. With inspiration, the diaphragm contracts and there's inspiratory muscles that help along with that. When expiration happens, though, there's high elastic recoil forces because you're just tempted to let all of that air out. So the inspiratory muscles sort of check a lot more than in running speech. They check those elastic recoil forces, but as vital capacity goes down, they kind of lower. So finally, the expiratory muscles contract, and you're tapping into the expiratory reserve volume because you're just trying to let out that last bit of air.